Kessel Run Transmissions, and of course, my co-host and friend Noah Outlaws with me.
What's up, guys?
So we saw Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Today is Tuesday, December 17th, and we're going to shoot our spoiler review. If you have not seen the film, please don't watch this.
Get out of here.
Yes, please.
Get out of here.
Noah, first and foremost, what did you think of the film?
Man, I absolutely loved this movie. It's a 9 out of 10 for me, man. It might be my favorite Star Wars movie. I mean, really, the amount of time I laughed and I cried and everything, it might be my favorite. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I think it's my favorite one.
Favorite part? Is there anything that you can narrow down right
now?
Oh man, that was the shit.
God, well, there's one little thing that I just loved, and it's not even a huge moment. But when Rey and Kylo were fighting on the Death Star, right? Okay. And that big wave is coming, and they force jump, cool. And I just love seeing them just cool. It's just something that we don't see very often, especially in live action. Yeah. So I love seeing Rey and Kylo just force jump and almost just hover for a little while over wherever they were and like do backflips. Yeah. It was amazing. Yes. Also, great lightsaber. Also, the scene with Kylo and Han. That was a tearjerker for me, man. That was an amazing scene. What about you, buddy?
Force Awakens.
Absolutely, it is because it was kind of in Kylo's memory for the most part. Right. What was yours, man? If you had your favorite.
Okay.
Oh, I think I know your favorite.
I think you do. So Rey and Kylo are defeated. They're on the ground. Kylo gets thrown into the abyss, and Rey, defeated, keeps on saying, What was she saying?
She says, be with me.
Be with me.
Be with me.
And in the beginning of the movie, they kind of set up that she was trying to connect with past Jedi. But she wasn't able to just yet. Yeah. But she's been trying throughout the movie. And then she says, be with me. And all of a sudden, you hear the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi going, Rey, these are your first steps.
These are your final steps.
These are your final steps.
That's what the final steps.
And then we hear Anakin Skywalker, Hayden Christensen.
What did he say? Tell him.
So he said a couple of things. I didn't catch all of them, but he definitely said, Rey, get up. But one thing that he said, I'm glad they acknowledged it. I jumped out of my seat like this.
Yeah, Corey was like, oh, yes.
He said, Rey, bring balance to the Force as I once did. Which confirmed that he's still the chosen one. He still did bring balance to the Force.
I just got chills when you said that.
Dude, when I heard it, I'm like, dude.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Not only did we get Hayden Christensen, Ashley Eckstein as Ahsoka Tano. Yep. Holy crap.
Yes. We got, and the thing is, that scene, that's another, obviously, great moment. Yeah. I was going to let him have that one.
I had
But, it was Obi-Wan, Anakin, Ahsoka, Yoda, Luke, Mace Windu, Qui-Gon, Ayla Secura.
The most random Jedi, Ayla Secura.
Luminara.
Kanan Jarrus.
My boy Freddy. Yep. My boy Freddy out here in the credits. I was like, this guy didn't say shit. He didn't tell me anything. Yeah. That was such a great moment. Yeah. It was so good. And then what I just loved so much is even before that moment, Palpatine had said multiple times, like, he is all of the past Sith. Yeah. He is all of the Sith.
Right. It's all inside of him. Yeah.
And wow.
Well, one thing too about Palpatine, real quick, is when we were talking about it, he wasn't really alive throughout the film.
Yes.
He was just like this cripple, white eyes.
One thing you notice is his hands. Like his fingers were chopped off, and like
he's dead.
He's a dead body. But I guess the spirit of Palpatine is controlling him, which is something that we talked about beforehand, and something you were not a fan of ever since you kind of found out Palpatine was in this movie. Right. Was that you felt like it kind of ruined Anakin's kind of his arc. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that now after you've seen the movie?
So I definitely think that they were trying to acknowledge the fact that Palpatine only truly came back because the Force dyads were there. And the Force dyads, of course, if you guys have seen the movie, is Kylo and Rey. Yeah. And that's how he was able to come back. But the Force still didn't allow him to come back. Right. That's why the Force dyads were there.
Yeah, that's why he needed them.
And I think that Anakin still did kill Palpatine. He still did bring balance to
Palpatine is dead because here's the thing. Palpatine's spirit was, he knew that there was this body of Palpatine was dead. Yeah. But there was nothing he could do really with this body. That's why he wanted Rey to come and strike him down, because he mentioned that if she gives into her anger and strikes him down, his spirit would then be in her body. Right. And so now so he really, what his end game is like, I'm gonna rule the Empire as Empress Rey. Right. And so he was like, he was just trying to get to a different body. He wanted to be the host of Rey's body.
Yeah.
And that I love that. And Rey's just like, fuck no, baby. I'm not doing that shit. Yeah. And like, and I love that all their scenes together. And obviously the big thing we find out is Rey is Palpatine's granddaughter.
Yes.
And I was actually just talking to
a lot of gasps in the theater.
Yeah. Oh, that was a big moment.
A lot of people freaked out.
I remember because Kylo says it, and I heard, oh, like everyone's. I was like, wow, it was a great moment in the theater.
We both already knew that just because like it's hard to even avoid.
It's hard to avoid spoilers. Yes. So yeah, we definitely knew that, and it's funny because I was just talking to Meredith Loftus. Shout out, she's fantastic. She works at Entertainment Tonight. She's out here.
She's awesome.
Yeah, and I was talking to her, and she was like, who did Palpatine hook up with to make kids?
Honestly.
And I just kind of figured, I was like, what I've thought about, like you said, we've kind of known that for a little bit, and what I've always kind of just figured was Palpatine was the emperor of the galaxy.
Yeah. He
had to have people around him that he was like hooking up with. Like he could have anything he wanted at that point. So it's like, you know, he probably had women around him all the time.
See, now on the flip side, I'm a little weird about that part. Because I never got the vibe from Palpatine only gave a crap about one thing.
Yeah.
And that was power.
Yeah.
The only thing that I can think of is him having a contingency plan going, there's going to be a point in time where I'm going to need to have somebody in my bloodline.
Right.
And so that's the only thing I can think of. Because he clearly didn't give a shit about his children.
Yeah.
Or his son.
Yeah. Maybe
or his daughter. I don't know who...
he didn't care about... I don't know which one it is.
I don't know.
I think it's... I don't know, actually. That's a good point. Wonder which one is actually... if Rey's mom or dad is actually related to Palpatine.
He gave the order to kill them, too.
Yeah, and so it was like both of them. I don't care.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, see, that's true. And maybe even, it's possible that very common theory, I don't believe it's confirmed, I don't think it's been confirmed in any comics, is that Palpatine created Anakin Skywalker, right?
Yeah.
So, did Palpatine maybe create Rey as well? Maybe he's like, here's a second little girl, and he put him in some random...
It could be.
I don't know.
I mean, it could be.
I don't know.
It could be.
Or maybe not created Rey, but maybe created... the kid to have, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I don't know. But the thing is Palpatine's in this damn movie, and I don't know why, but I like it.
Okay.
I'm fine with it. I like for what he was there to do, because they had to have him in this movie, because we mentioned this in the spoiler-free version. He had to. JJ and company and Kathleen, they were like, we need a familiar character to bring back, and they're like, fuck it, bring back Palpatine.
Yeah.
We can do that. We can make that work somehow in the storyline, and so they had to do it.
I think, like we said in the non-spoiler review, after Last Jedi got the reception it did, I do think they started freaking out and going, we need to bring back familiar characters.
Yeah.
And like I said, I am glad that Palpatine wasn't fully alive. My only issue with Palpatine, well, I have various issues, but one of my issues with Palpatine was the fact that they never explained what the hell was going on with him. And I think that's not something you just shrug to the side.
Right, yeah.
You have to acknowledge it in some way. And it doesn't have to be a complex answer, but it give us something. Yeah. I think it was cool that he revealed that he's been cloning all these Snokes.
Yeah.
And he's been making Snoke.
Yeah.
The Sith Troopers were whack.
Yeah, the Sith Troopers...
They didn't do shit.
Now look here. Here's the thing about the Sith Troopers. This is not the first time they've hyped up some fucking
so we were already kind of
new
ready
trooper,
for it.
And it's like they looked really cool.
Yeah.
If I was the Disney marketing team, I would say make the fuck ton of those action figures too. You know what I mean? But they hyped up for the Last Jedi those execution troopers.
Yeah, they did.
They hyped those up too. Yeah. So
this was no surprise.
Yeah, this was no surprise. I agree with you though. They were just. You could have put regular stormtroopers in their place, and it would have been the same thing.
As everyone calls it, Bendemption.
Bendemption.
It happened.
And I loved it.
Yes,
I
loved the way it happened
so much.
That was, I think, Leia dying.
Yeah.
Is the perfect way to snap Kylo.
Right, because he was like, "Oh shit, my mom just died." And the scene with Han. Yeah, I agree. It was a perfect way to snap it out of it. And the thing is the scene where they find out Rey kind of takes advantage of him being shocked. because then she stabs him through his stomach area or his chest, whatever.
And he doesn't even really acknowledge it as much pain as he's in because, I mean...
He's like his mom. Like, he just felt his mom.
He didn't even care. He's like, oh, well, this is, I messed up.
Yeah. And then at that point, it's like, I think right whenever Rey heals him, because she even says to him, because earlier in the movie he said, I offered you my hand and you didn't take it. Right. And then she tells him, she goes, I wanted to hold Ben's hand, not Kylo's.
I love that line.
Yeah, I loved it too. And then you see in his, this is why Adam is so perfect. You see the switch go off almost.
Yep, you do.
And he looks at her and he's like, God, you're right. And then the Han scene is just fantastic. Yeah. I mean, it was a little weird. I was like, why Han is here? But then he kind of they have the lines like, Han's just there in his memory.
Right.
So yeah, I loved that scene. It was a real tearjerker for me.
I think the biggest tearjerker moment is when they tell Chewie that Leia died.
Yeah.
And he falls.
Because
I mean, think about it. He's lost Han, then he lost Luke, now he's lost Leia.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this guy.
If Chewie was like conscious of real life, he'd be like, you assholes! Yeah. Why'd you have to make more movies?
Yeah, he would.
We could have just been living life. We could have just been hanging out. But now you had to make more movies and kill everybody off. He'd be pissed. But
so some things I didn't like about the movie.
Yeah, go on your list. Too. Go on your little list.
Let me get on my list. Yeah, I've already said I don't think Palpatine should have been in it. Guys, listen. I love that Anakin had some role in it. However, 3 movies in, post Return of the Jedi, you had the opportunity to have Mark Hamill and Hayden Christensen interact.
You're not wrong.
And they didn't do it.
Yeah.
It feels to me like the prequel trilogy, we're going to kind of acknowledge it, but not really. And I got that vibe a lot from the trailers.
Yeah.
The trailers were not showing a lot of prequel things. They were like, it just feels like it would be great closure for all the characters.
Yeah.
And when you're closing a 9-film story, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Even in the end, when we see the Force ghosts of Leia and Luke looking at Rey on Tatooine.
You could have been there.
You could have been there and Anakin.
And
all
Anakin.
The Skywalkers.
Wow.
Because, I know that for I get it, Rey has an attachment to Leia and Luke. I get that. But...
Well, she has more of an attachment to Ben, too,
Right, but Ben being there and then Hayden and Anakin being there, too.
Yeah.
It's just, it would feel right.
Yeah.
And I think that one other missed opportunity is Anakin not talking to Kylo. Yeah. And being like, dude, you're being
That was a huge... Look, here's the thing. I've been saying this for a long time. I even had a hashtag... I had a hashtag back in the day called #MissedOpportunities if. And I used to say that if Anakin is not in the movie, which he is in the movie, but I kind of meant as a Force ghost.
Yeah.
But they definitely had missed opportunities. He could have had a conversation with Luke. He could have had a conversation with Ben. You know what? Oh my gosh!
Well,
you know what? Wait. You know what would have been so much? And I love the Han scene.
I was about to say the same thing.
I love the Han scene, but you know what would have been so freaking much better is if that same scene happened, but instead of Han, it was the Force ghost of Anakin. Like, dude, you want to be Darth Vader. I'm Darth Vader, and I don't condone what I did. So you obviously don't, or that would have been better.
Do both of them. You
both.
Want to go...
If you want to do both, yeah.
They just were scared to do it, and I'm sick of... That's one thing about the Disney era Star Wars that's driving me crazy, is they're not taking those risks.
Yeah.
And dude, like, Anakin, during all the celebrations, Hayden Christensen was so loved, and this it's literally called The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I didn't like that. I'm very disappointed by that.
I am too. I'm happy the Han scene was so good.
Yeah.
Because if it didn't end up being like as good as it is, I think but having Anakin there would have been fantastic.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. You can go ahead.
I think one big flaw with the movie is Finn throughout the film keeps on wanting to talk to Rey about something. It's pretty clear for us to figure out what that is.
What he wants to talk about, yeah.
And it's clear he probably has feelings for her, but they never address it. And it's something, it's beat for beat throughout the film. Yeah. And at the very end, nothing happens.
Yeah.
And that's a mess. That's messy storytelling that's like forgetting a plot you're trying to set up, and then you just forget about it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I thought that was a little weird.
Very messy.
But the thing is, what it did is it made for great jokes. And like that's what I mean. Like it is. But the jokes with Poe and the joke. Well, you didn't like that.
No, I mean the jokes were fine, and it did make for a good joke. Like, but there has to be a payoff at the end. Still.
Right when they survive. Yeah. They totally ditched it. You can't
set it up and then not.
They ditched the storyline. That is disappointing. But I loved the little back and forth with like Poe, where after they survived going through the sand or whatever it was, how Finn was like, "Oh, I'll tell you later," and he goes, "Oh, when Poe's not here? Okay."
Yeah,
cool.
That was good.
Like I loved that. Yeah. I loved that. I'm with you on that. Anything else you didn't like? What are the other things on your list?
I think I had one more.
Let's get through those.
Okay. I didn't like that for the last lightsaber fight of the whole saga, there was no music. Like like Kylo and Rey were fighting, and I'm like, all right, Duel of the Fates, Battle of the Heroes. What's gonna come up? Great March, something, nothing. And I get it. It was supposed to be a dramatic scene. However, this is also the final lightsaber duel in the entire saga. Do it up, man. Yeah, and one thing, I'm with you. I'm not, see, the music didn't strike me, but what did strike me about it was, it just didn't, it's like, you're right, it's the last one of this saga. Like, let's make this a big one, epic. It just, every time it would start to get good, they would cut back to the Resistance base. Yeah. They would cut back to Greg Grunberg, making a joke, which I think was funny. But I was like, hey, let's, and they're doing the flips and stuff. I'm like, let's keep with that energy, that momentum. Yeah. And then it just kind of went away, and then it was over. And they had a bunch of little battles, but they really didn't have one big one. You know what I mean? I guess the one big one would have been the one on the Death Star, but it was just kind of, it fell flat to me. Yeah, and that was more of like, it wasn't lightsaber on lightsaber that at the end. That was fighting the Knights of Ren, which was awesome. Seeing Ben have the Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber that was great. Fantastic. I loved whenever he did get the lightsaber, that was such a great moment because his hand was behind his back, and then you notice she didn't have it anymore. Yeah. And then he just pulls it back, and he gave him a grin, like a smile, like, okay, now I'm gonna kick your ass, guys, and he did. Right. I liked how he came in like at first ran and shot. Some of them it was cool. It was cool. It was cool to see him with a blaster. I thought that Ben's death was awesome. I did like Ben's death. I like that well, first and foremost, Rey dies. Rey is fucking dead. That was graphic, man. Her eyes are just open. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, I know. And Ben, and you can tell when Ben goes and gets her, and he's like, has her in his arms, and it's like such a he's like, fuck. That sucks. Yeah. He felt so bad almost, like that he wasn't there to help her, that he got fucked up and thrown down the pit. And the thing is, I loved it, but when you watch the scene, it definitely seems like he could have just lived. And it would have been very. I agree. Because it was such a great, wholesome moment because they do a little bit of kissing. They do. They kiss, and then it's pretty long, man. It was a nice. I know. I was like, oh shit. Oh shit! They're really. What's about to happen? Are we about to have our first Star Wars sex scene? Right. You know what I mean? But then they stop kissing and they're just looking at each other. And Ben gives this big grin, and I was like, oh, this is so nice. Yeah. And then he just falls over. He's dead. I was like, what is that? Like I didn't hate it, but it was like there was like 5 or 6 people who laughed. Yeah, so that's bad. Yeah, that's not great. That's how it played out. Yeah, I can understand. Yeah. I see why they're laughing. I wasn't laughing in the moment. I was like, it was emotional. It was emotional. But one thing as I was talking to Corey afterwards is Kathleen Kennedy the other night had a quote that she said during the Star Wars show live stream at the premiere. She was like, Andy Gutierrez mentioned that it was the end of the Skywalker story, and she was like, well, maybe not, we're not going to say it's the end of the Skywalker story, it's the end of the Skywalker saga. That's what she said, something along those lines. Here's my personal theory, is Daisy Ridley might not seem like she wants to come back, but I think they might have something planned. I think they have something, and with the ending of this movie, I think they have something planned, like a Rey movie, or like a Rey Disney Plus show, or something. And the reason, and I think that they were like, okay, well, Kylo has to die at the end of this. He has to die there because if he doesn't, Rey and Kylo in the story would be together, after that. And they want to continue Rey's story, but
if Kylo has to be there, they can't do that because I assure you Adam ain't gonna come back and play Kylo anymore.
I doubt it.
I would love that. I mean, that would have been amazing,
no.
but he won't.
No.
And so they're like, okay, but he has to die. And I think that's why they chose that, because I think JJ maybe even originally had him surviving.
Right.
Because the way it's going, and maybe that's just good writing, good directing, that you're not expecting him to fall back and die like that. But there's probably someone outside our hotel room who's like super excited for this movie, just walking down, and we're like, yeah, Kylo died. Like we're like Homer Simpson walking out of into The Simpsons, like Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's father the whole time. Poor guy. Sorry if you're out there, but
Rey Skywalker.
Rey Skywalker.
At the end, she proclaims herself
I loved
as
it.
Skywalker.
I loved it. I love her new lightsaber. It was orange.
It's cool. It's in her staff.
It's in her staff. Yeah, the hilt is made out of her staff, because she's been carrying that thing around.
Yeah.
I remember after, like in the Last Jedi like promo material and stuff, she still had it, and I was like, people were like, why do you still got the staff? Right. And I love that they worked that in there with her
Luke
lightsaber.
Had a decent role. I mean,
Luke did. Luke was in a Force Ghost, and his scene was powerful.
It was very good.
And the biggest, and I hate this. This is one thing in the movie that I fucking hate. Okay. I'm thinking about. I just kind of remembered it. There's a line that Luke has that is so blatantly shitting on Rian Johnson in The Last Jedi.
Yes, it is.
Rey throws the lightsaber into the fire, and he catches it, and then he forms as a Force Ghost, and he says, "What is this? A Jedi's weapon shouldn't be discarded like this." Yeah. And it's like obviously taking a shot at Luke throwing the lightsaber.
Or it's also Luke acknowledging that
maybe he messed up.
Kind of like a failure.
Maybe it's both, but I took it as, wow, that was blatant. And I think Ryan wasn't at the premiere of this movie for a reason. I think there's something behind the scenes that he's not happy. Yeah. I don't blame him. I mean, if you worked your ass off and wrote this story that you were super passionate about, and then people just didn't like it, and they were like, okay, well, fuck your story now, we're done.
Yeah, they should have got him in the first place. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they should have. They should have just had a fucking plot structure. Yeah. But
agreed.
The sequel trilogy, at least in my opinion, is amazing. It's finished. It might be my favorite trilogy out of all of them.
I think it was a good closure to the trilogy.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a good closure to the saga, but I think for
this trilogy, definitely missed opportunities, like we talked about a minute ago. They could have done more, but I think they worked with and we never know. Maybe Hayden was like, dude, I don't want to. Maybe I don't see why he would, because he's not doing anything else right now, but. But maybe he was like, nah, I don't want to take the time. Maybe he just didn't want to. Maybe he said no. He's like, maybe I'll just do a voice or something like that.
I don't think, we'll see.
I don't think that's the case, but maybe. And Hayden, when I said at Celebration, when I met you, when I said, if you're watching this, I told you, can't wait to see you in episode 9. Well, I meant hear you.
Hear you, yeah.
That's what I meant to say.
So out of 10 stars, Noah?
9. 9 out of 10. I mean, I love this movie.
I'm gonna hit it with a 6.5.
6.5. What's Last Jedi on your out of 10?
I'm gonna hit it with a 7 out of 10. Rise of Skywalker.
And Rise of Skywalker 7 out of 10.
Yeah, let me change that. I get Rise 7 out of 10. I think Last Jedi would get a 7.5.
So you like Last Jedi more?
Maybe.
Wow.
No, I don't know. It's too early to. I have to see Rise again.
Yeah, so we're gonna see it again. Well, if you're watching this video, I
definitely like this more than Last Jedi.
You like this one more than Last Jedi? Okay.
I'd like it more than Last Jedi. For
All right, that's kind of what I figured. So I was just really surprised.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, you've seen the movie, hopefully, if you're watching
let us know.
Let us know down in the comments below what you thought of the movie. What did you like? What did you not like?
Yeah.
You can go all spoilery in the comments because the movie's out. Yes. Now, people, if you're watching this or you clicked on this video and you haven't seen it,
why are you watching? Why'd you get to this point?
Well, yeah. If you're already down here, what are you doing? Yeah. Unless you just really don't care about the movie or care about being spoiled. Yeah. But like I said, let us know what you think down in the comments below. Corey, where can they find you on the internet?
Well, you guys can find us at Kessel Run Transmission. Whoa, sorry, that was a stroke. Kessel Run Transmissions at KR Transmissions on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Here on YouTube, please subscribe and like if you like what you see. This is how we make content and continue to grow. We really appreciate the support. You can find me personally at Corey_Wolfpack. How about you? You
can find me on Twitter at Outlaw Noah and on Instagram at The Outlaw Noah. And like he said, KR Transmissions on Twitter. We're both having trouble.
We didn't mention Lando at all.
We did mention Lando.
We did?
No, we did not.
Okay, Lando
was great. Lando was great. I think they used him perfectly. Oh, and also Wedge Antilles.
Wedge Antilles
shows up for
non-spoiler for a second. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, yeah, but
Wedge was for like 3 seconds.
Wedge is in there. He says, "Nice shot, Lando." Yeah. It's great. You know what I mean?
It's a classic Wedge.
Kind of wish he had more to do. Yeah. I mean, maybe they gave him a few more lines.
I wish we did see more from the Ghost and saw Hera in there.
That would have been great, but come on, they're just not gonna throw that in there. Yeah. We want it because we watch Rebels. Most people did not watch Rebels. True. You know what I mean?
But they still should have.
They show the Ghost. The Razor Crest is in there somewhere. We don't know. That's probably not the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think I think the Mandalorian is definitely confirmed dead in this time period because at Galaxy's Edge and the antique shop, unless he got a new helmet,
unless he gets his helmet
maybe he doesn't even have it anymore because maybe he takes it off and then he's like, I can't put it back on because this is the way. You know what I mean? Mandalorian, by the way, we have videos about that all the time.
Yes.
Chapter 7 comes out tonight.
Our reaction will be out by the time you guys see it.
Yes, absolutely. So make sure you check that out. It's on the channel right now. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later.
May the Force be with you.